Hey guys, Silver Lion here. Wanted to talk about some rookie mistakes that I've made in the past when I started stacking. I wanted to give you guys some clarification on what to stack. You need to know your goals in the beginning. So, are you stacking strictly to accumulate more weight in ounces? Is that how you want to measure your wealth? Are you more of a collector? Do you like the high-end stuff like this Proof American Silver Eagle? Very nice. Comes with the hefty premium, of course. So you need to be asking yourself these questions when you start. Otherwise, it could get a little crazy and then you just lose track of what exactly you're trying to accomplish. And then there's a lot of things in life that happen that you just don't see, like, it could be an emergency. So if you just strictly start, for example, let's say you just start getting all the expensive premium stuff like this panda here. You'll be paying way more than spot. This probably goes for, just off the top of my head, probably in the 30s. And silver spot is around, if I remember correctly, around 23 and some change. So let's say you just started stacking pandas and you started stacking proof eagles just because you're like, oh, those are cool. I can afford under $100 a coin, right? These probably go for what, 60 to 80? Please correct me in the comments because I have not bought these in a while, so my prices are much lower than what the prices are today. But also for this piece right here too, this goes for a nice premium. These are always in high demand, it seems. It's Mexican Libertads, but let's say you just start stacking these. I got two generics right here, for example. I got a regular American Silver Eagle right here. These also now carry a high premium. A few years ago, these were like barely what, around $2 over spot. Now these are probably what, around 10 to 15 over spot. The premium is crazy. It is so ridiculous. So you just need to have some kind of guidance or like an idea of what you want to do when you're stacking. So if you start buying this high end stuff right here, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're kind of sacrificing more weight because in reality, these would be closer to spot. These two generic rounds right here. This is just a regular Indian head right here, as you can see. Nothing crazy, but I mean, you got 1 ounce here, 1 ounce here, same weight, same amount of silver. Morgan right here. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to accumulate more weight, or do you want the fancy stuff? I personally, I like to diversify. So as you see, I have a little mix here that kind of represents my entire stack. So the problem with going with just premium high-end stuff, something like this, if I was to take into a coin shop today, they'll probably give me a hard time. Most coin shops, I would assume, because nobody wants to pay that extra premium for it, you know? So ideally what you want to do is if you ever need a part with your high premium items, it's best to sell privately to another collector, to another maybe reseller. That's where you'll get the most money for your item instead of like a coin shop, because they're obviously trying to make a profit too, but it seems like they're always trying to give you less. These, on the other hand, they'll always just be around spot. These probably a little close to $28 an ounce if you were to buy these today. Maybe if you're lucky, 26. And I also brought out this big bar. I wanted to show you guys. This is a 100-ounce bar right here. There's some pros and cons to owning this. I mean, it's pretty cool. A lot of people like to see like a safe full of these, so I get it. But as you can see right here by my thumb, 100 ounces, 3/9's fine. Dang, this guy's heavy. This will actually be real close to spot. Maybe not this brand, but if you were to buy a 100-ounce bar, it would go close to spot, and that's probably the most for your money right there. But there's some cons to that. So I live in California, so if I were to, let's say I were to sell this, then let's say silver gets to a crazy price in the future, right? And I was to sell it, and then this bar, for instance, goes over 10,000, which it's not. This is probably around what, 2,700 ish, maybe 2,600 for the whole bar. But if I was to sell it and it was over 10,000, then let's say it's a coin shop, they would have to declare it to the IRS. So there's all these like frictions you want to avoid when buying and selling. Also, California, they have sales tax. So if I were to buy this round, let's say just for easy math, it's $30. Sales tax would be applied, right? But there's this law in California that if you spend over 1,500, there's no sales tax. So I don't understand the laws. It's just, to me, it's funny. It's like, well, is that like that benefits the rich clearly because not everyone can just go out and spend 1,500 every time they want to buy metals just to avoid the sales tax. So to me, it's kind of ridiculous. But you just need to be aware and knowledgeable about your state laws of where you live. You know, even online when you buy, you can see that you got sales tax. So things you just want to avoid. But yeah, and then another con to this giant bar is some people are going to want to test it. You know, this is probably really recognized, but some people are going to want to drill into it. They're going to want to weigh it. They're going to probably want to stick a magnet to it. Maybe put it on one of those machines that tell them if it is, you know, honest. So there is some cons to this. And then at the same time, let's say you've just been stacking 100-ounce bars, right? So let's say your whole safe is full of 100-ounce bars. And then let's say shit hits the fan, or, you know, you just need food or something. What are you going to do? You're going to trade someone a 100-ounce bar for a meal? You're gonna cut a little piece right here, and it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense like to have only one or the other. So I like to have generics because at the end of the day, this is probably the best for barter. You can even get smaller sizes like fractionals, as I discussed in my last video about gold. The same rule kind of applies. So if you were to buy, let's say, 10 fractionals of this guy, let's say they're all 1/10, so it equals the same, probably be paying more money for the fractional, so it's probably best just to stick to the 1 ounce. You get closer to spot, you get more for your money. Good barter items. And then, you know, it's not bad to have these collector items either. It's just, they're nice. I like to hold on to these. Like, for example, I've bought so many of these Proof Eagles. Like, my average price is probably around $45. So it's just, you know, I've been stacking since 2013. So if you see just over time how much these go up in value, especially pandas here. This is a panda right here. As you can see, it says 1 ounce. They switched over to 30 grams now. But these pandas over time, as you can see, this is a 2012. If you were to look this up, it'd probably be going for a lot more than the 2023 pandas. So these do tend to appreciate and value more, but I feel like only other collectors would appreciate it, so they would buy it for what you would want, you know, to get in return. I feel like the coin shops would kind of not want to give you the full amount, if that makes sense. And then this is just the regular Eagle again. These are going for maybe around 45. The premium is just so crazy on these. I mean, I used to stack these and they were like, what, $2-3 over spot? It's so crazy now. I don't know what the issue is. I think the US Mint is having issues with, you know, creating them, or I don't know, there's some conspiracies going on. I don't want to get into politics. All I know is that those are very expensive. So for this, you got $45, let's say. And let's say this, we'll do round numbers here. This is 30, this generic. So buying more of these, you'll end up with more weight. So if that's the goal you want, at the end of the day, you're like, I don't care. I want the weight. I don't want to deal with the fancy stuff. That's fine. That's probably the route you should go. You should probably go with 1 ounce over these 100-ounce bars to start with. There's nothing wrong with this, but I just want you to understand the cons. These are nice because let's say I had 100 of these to equal this bar. Let's move this aside right here. Let's say I have 100 of these to equal this bar. I can do so much more. You know, let's say silver shoots up to a crazy price, and then this bar is worth over 10,000, and I don't want to trigger no tax forms or anything. If I had 100 of these, I can sell what I need to sell to stay under that threshold of 10,000. I don't have to declare anything. Let's say I want to barter or trade this for like a meal or anything. Then it's that simple, you know? I can give 1-2 coins away. This, it's like I feel forced. I got to cut it, or I got to get something to equal this value because it's just a big chunky boy right here. It's very nice, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to have your whole stack in this because then you're kind of obligated to just make weird transactions, or you're gonna probably want to trade it from, these 1 ounces. So if you ask me for my opinion, this isn't financial advice or anything, but I think this is the best route for today to stack these generic rounds. Excuse me, I got butterfingers. These are probably best for your money right now. These are fine, maybe once in a while. It depends on how much you make, how much you want to allocate towards, metals. But the nice stuff is nice too. Don't get me wrong. Like that high premium stuff, I love getting it. It just doesn't make sense if, let's say this Proof Eagle right here is like 60 to 80 bucks. You can get at least almost 3 of these for that price. So at the end of the day, when you're starting your stack, I would recommend, is if you're a family member or friend, try and go with the 1 ounce. Get as many as you can. Obviously whatever you can allocate weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, stick with that. These have its benefits. These are closer to spot. This 100 ounce will probably be cheaper overall, but clearly you got to break the bank, because this is like at least what, 2600 ish. It's much easier to spend, what is this, 28 ish on these generics. So you just gotta have an idea of what you want to do with your stack. Ultimately, you need to know what direction you're going in. Otherwise, the mistakes I've made, I've just been buying a lot of collector stuff in the beginning, like these 3 coins, for example, and it just makes me wonder, like, oh wow, I could have had way more ounces today if I went with the generic. So, but I've been stacking for over 10 years, so for me it's like I don't really mind, because I have a big stack, so I'm very happy with it. So I'm glad it's diversified. It just blows my mind when I see, these Eagles that are going for like 45 bucks, and I was paying like the low 20s for these. It just blows my mind how crazy it can get, and it can get crazier. Like, the U.S. wants to keep printing more money. They just I guess they made an agreement on the debt ceiling, so it's just funny money. They're talking about trillions like it's nothing. I think I heard it takes like what, 35,000 years just to count to a trillion, and they're throwing it around like it's funny money. So at the end of the day, this is what you want. This will protect you. This stuff cannot be counterfeited. Well, I mean, it can, but it can't be created, is what I'm trying to get at. So at the end of the day, you want to buy this stuff. You want to go to a website that is familiar, that everyone knows and recognizes, and they have a reputation. I recommend JM Bullion, SD Bullion, APMEX. Those are good places to start. APMEX is on the pricier side most of the time, so I'd stick with more JM and SD Bullion. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. I'm still kind of trying to figure out this YouTube channel. I'm fairly new. This is uncharted territory for me, uncharted waters, so I'm just trying to figure it out, trying to get the lighting right, trying to get everything. So any feedback is appreciated. If you just let me know, you could just straight tell me my videos suck, my lighting sucks, my tone, whatever. I would appreciate it more than just thanks, good job, because I'm trying to improve. So I do appreciate you tuning in. I do appreciate you watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.